vaccine injuries in my practice, I started inquiring about it to the health department and start publicizing vaccine dangers. And that got me a suspension and a $100,000 fine from my association. So I quickly seen, what was happening, and that the level of corruption was all the way to the top. It's through our media. My name was dragged through the media. Thank you, CBC and Michael Gorman, for that. Again, I had to resign and surrender my license, so I could see that the medical profession and the media were both bought commodities by the corrupt cabal.
Global News, Cabal.
So, thank you. So you have to, I think, feel the pain personally to understand how far this problem and pandemic, let's say, the true pandemic, reaches into our governments. So I went through the usual procedure. I hired a lawyer. I was going to take it to the Human Rights Commission, the Supreme Court of Canada, fight for my rights and freedoms. But I quickly could see how they hired a team of lawyers on the other side to sort of take me down because I was one person. But together, we're stronger.
Yes!
And whether it's mandated vaccines or mandated masks or mandated smart meters or mandated 5G technology, these mandates are against our human rights and freedoms because it's somebody else telling us what to do. Dictating. You can't mandate a policy that comes with risk.
Exactly.
So again, I lobbied the governments, the MLAs, every MLA in Nova Scotia, every MP. We went to New Brunswick when they had the standing committee of the legislature, and I presented there. And again, I realized that my words weren't going anywhere. And in a conversation with an MLA who will remain unnamed at the point, but he said that they can have their own personal opinion, but ultimately at the end of the day, they can discuss this in the caucus meeting, but they have to go by what the party mandates are. So you can see that this is a top-down process. We can't fight it going to the top. We have to create a whole new paradigm, which is why we're here. And we have an amazing group of people here. Somebody approached me from the Atlantic Underground podcast, Chris, I think, or Johnny. And we have the Informed Consent Nova Scotia, Vaccine Choice Canada, No Masks Nova Scotia, different groups. Oh gosh, I'm probably forgetting someone. The Vax Canada, the International Advocates Against Mandates, Hugs Over Masks. I mean, there's so many different representations here who are all now, banding together for our human rights and freedoms and what's right and what's just. So what else can we do? Gandhi says, when you have an unjust government, it's our sacred duty to resist. So we're here. We can keep educating, as we're doing, from a grassroots level to your family, to your community, to your schools, to your politicians, to the businesses. We can keep protesting. And thank you, Sandra and Shannon and Andrew, for all the work you've done here today, and Chris Skye, who's organizing this from a national level, because this is a national event. It's in every major city in Canada.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia strong. And we can rewrite the Constitution. I just met Harold, and I'm not sure if Janice is here, from the Unify the People group, who are rewriting the Constitution. So there's many different people speaking out for the same purpose. National Citizens Alliance, there's Adrian right there. And they're a new federal group. If you don't know this, I only found this out a few weeks ago, but they're a new federal group that are standing up for our human rights and freedoms, 5G technology and smart meters and vaccines. And then we have the Children's Health Defense in the United States, and like I said, Vaccine Choice Canada. You can join up there because they've hired a lawyer, Rocco Galante, to again sue the Canadian government for these unlawful measures. So I've been handing out these little mask exemption cards. I still have a few left, so if you haven't had one, come see me. But this is not required. This is an education legislation process, right? Because Rocco says you don't need a mask exemption. You don't need a medical doctor note to say you require oxygen.
Right.
This is your human right and freedom. So you don't require that exemption. It just gives the Nova Scotia legislation and the number for the Human Rights Commission. But the website on the back of that card is a national website, so you can look up your individual. If you have family in other parts of the country, they can look up the legislation in their individual province. But the key ingredient that I think we're missing in all this is really to find structure, right? Because we're talking right now to walls. Some people are hearing us. This is a great educational opportunity for people who are still scared of their environment.
They're all listening.
Right? They're scared of their environment. And that's what masks represents. It's a fear of our environment. If you trust that we live in a loving universe and that everything is given to us for a purpose, including viruses that strengthen our immune system, you won't lock in your house with a muzzle on your mouth. So when I say aligned to a higher authority, for some that's God, for others it's the international common law courts. And this is what I've been researching lately, and Kevin, Annette, and I have been in conversation, and we're hoping to network. But what I would love to see is all these individual groups that have our rights and freedoms in utmost, in a value system, is if we can unite and then put structure, because the current paradigm is not working. We need to create a whole new system in order to have our voices heard. So, if you're interested, my blog, healthtruth.blog, you can send me an email through healthtruth.blog and I can add you to a database, because we're just going to grow this bigger and bigger. Or some of the other groups, Informed Consent Nova Scotia, to be bigger. So if you feel inspired to join one of those groups, there's representatives here. You can, maybe Shannon and Andrew, if you can raise your hand, Informed Consent Nova Scotia. Sandra is the organizer of this event, Hugs Over Masks. The Atlantic Underground podcast, who's here from this, if you want to, interview. And then we have Unify the People. Where's Unify the People? Do we have Howard here? There was a representative from Unify the People. But if you can't find someone, come see me, and I'll network, help you network. But, we need to kind of, get that inspiration, which is really kind of stirring your emotion for your purpose. So I'm almost finished. Another quote: power concedes nothing without demand. Find out what people will submit to, and you found the exact measure of injustice that will be imposed upon them. They will only do to us what we allow. So by not wearing a mask, as Gandhi says, we're beating the change. We're letting people know it's okay to take off your mask. You're not going to die. There's only been masks are not a sign of a health measure. We've seen this, and I've written an article, and you can see all the research. They're not a health measure. I have a mask safety form in my purse I can show you. It's not about health and safety. It's about fear and ignorance. And using this to manipulate us. So the way that we can help others is to just be that change. People will see, and I'm going to do a live video later, so if anyone's interested in speaking on that live video, come see me. But we are letting people know it's safe, it's okay, it's loving. Your smile means something. It helps stimulate your immune system. And we love our universe because for thousands of years we've had viruses strengthening us, as Dr. Zach Bush says. It's actually helping the evolution of our species. Yes. So, be the change. Last quote, Kevin Annette, and he's written a book called Natural Liberties. He's written many books, actually, but he's the guy who had Pope Benedict in 2013 resign. So he's a man that's doing it. He's not just talking about it, he's doing it. So he had a warrant through the common law, international common law, out for his arrest. And Pope Benedict now is still hiding out in the Vatican for sex crimes against kids and trafficking priests. But this guy, Kevin Annette, was the guy who wrote the arrest warrant through common law court. So this is what he quotes. He says, "This tyranny is a denial of the natural order and attack on divinity and humanity. So it's time, this is mine, for a new world order, because the power is in the people." Woo! That was fantastic! Love that, lady. So, we're going to have Chris come up from Atlantic Underground Podcast. Chris, come on down. You're next.
Okay, I'm going to take a little break here, folks, and we'll be back shortly.
Hello everyone, today in Nova Scotia.